So, we're going to talk about the job market again. It's been about a year since I really made an update, and Black millionaires posted a picture, a graphic showing that only 67% of the workforce is male now. A third of our males in our society are no longer working or even looking for work. That's big news. It's very big news. Because when we were supposed to announce that we were in a recession in 2022, when we had multiple consecutive negative GDP quarters, they said, we're going to ignore that because the job market is strong. And we have been seeing that the job market is not as strong as they have projected. In fact, a third of our males are no longer employed or looking for work. It doesn't tell the story of those who do have employment and their job is either underemployed, like myself. I'm grateful for Wawa, but it definitely doesn't fulfill or satisfy my full potential. Those who do have jobs, even in their own careers, it doesn't sustain the lifestyle that they want to have or need to live. What I see is a perfect opportunity for all of the men to get right with God, understand that we are called to be the head and not the tail, grow a garden, create independence, since we can't rely on the government to fulfill its promises to us. I mean, what I'm seeing is that there's a group of men who are now realizing that the dream doesn't work like it used to. Go to school, get a job, retire, buy a house, retire, and die. That is not feasible for this generation, for many of us. Some of us have gotten it, and I'm grateful for you because you will benefit in this economy, and I'm excited for you. But be careful, because they are going to do everything that they can to take that back, that equity that was just created. They don't want you to have ownership of that. They want it for themselves. So I just encourage you to be mindful of your situation. You know, when I even look back at the first time I made a lot of money in the stock market, I was lucky. I was lucky. I put $500 in to Dogecoin. It was worth under half a penny. And it blew my mind. I didn't even know you could buy something that low. And I just figured it was worth the investment. My mindset at the time was, don't invest anything you're not willing to lose. And it turned into $23,000. I think I sold at $23,000 or $32,000. Can't quite remember, but when I look back at it, I got lucky. I bought at the right time. It had nothing to do with my skill set. And I learned that the hard way, lost a lot of money. And then I did gain the skill set. But there's a group of men right now realizing that there has to be something better. We've tried to follow that path, us millennials. Go to school. It's not an issue of our education. We're smart, we're educated, we're degreed. But that path has led us to an insurmountable amount of debt, preventing home ownership, preventing these very things that are required to build wealth in our society. So it's not an issue of following the plan. We tried to go ahead and we got our education. We're trying to get a job. We see the market isn't providing opportunity. In fact, it's investing into making jobs even more difficult for us. Whole nother story. That's what I believe is called the poverty paradox, something that I need to eventually break down. But essentially, it's if the market goes up, what does that mean? We'll talk about it eventually. If the market goes down, what does that mean? I do want to talk about this point because everybody that I hear talk about the market just talks about Black Thursday during the Great Depression, where the market dropped 11% in a day. But what I want people to realize is that it was an actual free fall. From 1929 to 1933, when the Great Depression happened, the market dropped 89%. And people don't even know what stopped the Great Depression. Man, oh man. What stopped the Great Depression, in fact, was Executive Order 6102. So for those of you who know, you know. For those of you who don't, look it up. But it was where the government required every citizen to give up their gold. And if they didn't, they would either get jailed, fined, or both. So this was a very serious matter. The reasoning behind it was they needed control of the currency behind the dollar. So, whatever, it worked. Great Depression stopped. Man, I didn't even give you the full context, but the Great Depression stopped. They gave us the FDIC, which basically means, if the banks crash like they just did for the last 2 times in the last 30 years, this time we'll promise to give you your money back. America's like, bro, this ain't it. So the government provided to us, originally called the Economic Security Act, but changed to the Social Security Act, as its promise to provide a level of a sustainable lifestyle for American tax-paying citizens. You will have a promise of retirement. You will have a promise of healthcare. You will have a promise. People don't realize how dangerous that shift was from a promised benefit, the pension, where you have a payment coming your entire life. You know that part is set aside, and you don't have that concern at all. Versus what we have now, this dream that we will be wise enough, skilled enough, trained enough, educated enough to fund our own retirement. Is it possible? Yes. Is it feasible? No, not with the infrastructure we currently have around financial education, trading, stock markets. We're not prepared for that. So not only do we not have this guarantee in our life anymore, we're trying to fund something that is fundamentally a prediction market, a hope market that requires skill. And we don't have the training to possess that skill. But man, anyway, like I said, with the Great Depression, only 3% of Americans were invested. Only 3% of Americans were invested in the market. And that had a global effect on the economy, global economy. What do we think will happen now with over 60% of Americans invested into the market? Again, we've ignored the dollar falling. We've ignored the job market. We've ignored inflation. We've ignored the fact we're in the war. We're ignoring all these things. I feel like we're in a poverty paradox with the market. And again, I think other people might not have researched it as extensively as I have, or taken the time to find the language for it. But I feel all of us feel it. And you know how I know that we feel it? It's actually because it's spiritual. I believe America has collateralized our soul into a financial instrument, the Social Security number. When we look at 1971, that's when they removed the dollar off the gold standard. And the education that I've constantly heard around what is supplying the currency of America, and we always say it's trust. And trust, I believe, is a result. I don't think trust is the right word. What they ended up doing was exchanging gold for human productivity, which is a very dangerous thing. They've assigned us as commodities in this financial ecosystem. In theory, it sounds great.